We're about to dive into a creature that has mastered the sky in a way that is, well, it's almost unbelievable. A hunter so perfectly engineered for speed and precision that it honestly feels like something straight out of science fiction. Today, we're explaining the incredible Peregrine Falcon. And listen, we're not going to ease into this one. Let's just start with the most staggering fact right up front. 242 miles per hour. That's 389 kilometers per hour. Now, that's not a race car, it's not a plane. That's the recorded top speed of a living animal in a dive. It is, without any question, the fastest creature on planet Earth. And a number like that immediately makes you wonder, right? I mean, the sheer physics of that speed. It just seems impossible for a biological creature. How can it possibly breathe? How does its body not just fall apart? That's the real core of our story today. To really get the peregrine, you first have to understand that this incredible velocity isn't for, just getting from point A to point B. This speed has one purpose, and one purpose only: hunting. This is the falcon's signature weapon. It's a move called the stoop. The falcon will soar to these incredible heights, sometimes over a kilometer up, spot its prey, and then it just lets go. It folds its wings into this perfect teardrop shape, just slicing through the air, basically transforming gravity itself into a weapon. This is the moment it shatters every speed record in the entire animal kingdom. To really put this in perspective, let's think about the animal we all think of when we hear the word fast, the cheetah. An absolutely incredible sprinter, topping out around 70 miles per hour. The peregrine falcon, when it's in its element, is nearly 3 times faster. They're not even in the same league. It's just no contest. So how is any of this possible? How has evolution managed to solve the extreme problems that come with this kind of speed? Okay, let's break down the biological marvel that is the peregrine falcon. And these aren't just, minor tweaks. The falcon has a whole suite of what you can only describe as superpowers. Each one is a perfect solution for a life lived at the very edge of what's physically possible. We're going to look at its breathing, its heart, its weapons, and its unbelievable senses. Okay, let's start with the breathing. At over 200 miles an hour, the air pressure alone would completely destroy the lungs of most animals. With the peregrine, it's got a solution. It has these small bony cones inside its nostrils called tubercles. They basically act as baffles, slowing the air down just enough so it can breathe totally normally. And get this design is so perfect that engineers actually copied it for early jet engines. Nature got there first. And powering this whole system is an engine that is just unlike any other. During a high-speed chase, a peregrine's heart can beat up to 900 times per minute. To compare, an elite human athlete's heart, it maxes out around 200. This thing is pumping oxygen-rich blood to its muscles and brain, allowing for the lightning-fast reflexes you'd need to hunt at these speeds. And here's where it gets really, really clever. The peregrine doesn't always just grab its prey. A lot of the time, during a stoop, it'll ball up one of its feet into a fist and literally punch the other bird right out of the sky. The impact alone is often enough to stun or even kill its target. Then it just gracefully circles back to catch it as it falls. Of course, none of this would work without its guidance system. The peregrine's vision is almost beyond our ability to comprehend. It's estimated to be up to 8 times more powerful than our own. It can spot a pigeon from several kilometers away, all while calculating the perfect trajectory for its dive. Just incredible. Now, you might think an animal this specialized would be stuck in a very specific habitat, right? But the exact opposite is true. The peregrine isn't just a master of the air, it's a master of adaptation. Seriously, from the tropics all the way to the Arctic tundra, this falcon is everywhere. Its presence on every single ice-free continent makes it one of the most successful and widespread birds of prey in the entire world. Its design is just so effective, it works pretty much anywhere. It thrives along coastlines, hunting shorebirds. It hunts across deserts and grasslands, and high up in remote mountain ranges. But maybe the greatest proof of its adaptability is its conquest of a brand new wilderness, our modern cities. Yeah, a peregrine looks at a skyscraper and just sees a perfect cliff ledge. It looks at a bridge and sees a perfect nesting site. And it looks at the massive populations of pigeons and starlings in our cities and sees a reliable, all-you-can-eat buffet. It has totally turned our world into its world. But the peregrine story isn't just one of biological perfection. It's also a dramatic story of survival, because in the 20th century, this incredible hunter, this true apex predator, was nearly erased from the planet. The falcon had no natural predators that could really threaten it as a species, but it couldn't defend itself against a chemical it couldn't see or taste or smell. The widespread use of the pesticide DDT right after World War II, well, it set in motion a catastrophic decline. So here's how it worked. DDT was sprayed on fields and it was absorbed by insects. Then small birds ate those insects. Then peregrines ate those small birds. At each step up the food chain, that poison became more and more concentrated. This process is called biomagnification. Now, the DDT didn't kill the adult falcons directly. Instead, it messed with their ability to produce calcium, causing them to lay eggs with shells so thin they would literally break under the weight of the parent trying to incubate them. An entire generation was being lost. By the 1970s, the peregrine was gone from huge parts of North America and Europe. It was put on the endangered species list, and for a while, it really looked like it might be the end. But what happened next is one of the greatest comeback stories in the history of conservation. The timeline of the recovery is just remarkable. Once the science was understood, people took action. DDT was banned in the United States in 1972. Then, scientists and conservationists started breeding falcons in captivity. By 1999, just a few decades later, the recovery was so successful that the peregrine was taken off the endangered species list. This path to recovery was this massive effort that really required 4 key steps. First and most critically, they had to ban the poison. Second, they had to pioneer ways to breed these birds in captivity. Third, they had to release all those captive-bred birds back out into the wild. And finally, they had to protect their nesting sites, both the natural ones and the man-made ones, to give them a real chance to thrive again. So let's just quickly recap the 5 key things that make the peregrine falcon so amazing. Number 1, it's the undisputed fastest animal on the planet. 2, it's got eyesight that is a true biological superpower. 3, it's a symbol of successful conservation, a comeback champion we brought back from the very brink. 4, it's a master of all environments, from wild cliffs to urban jungles. And finally, number 5, every single part of its anatomy is perfectly built for speed. And that really highlights the most important part of this whole story. You know, while humans were the cause of the problem, we were also the architects of the solution. The peregrine's recovery shows that when we actually identify a threat and work together, we can reverse the damage we've done. Which brings us to one final thought. We now share our cities with the fastest animal on Earth. Its presence on our skyscrapers is this constant reminder of both nature's incredible resilience and our own profound responsibility. The falcon is back, and its story forces us to ask, what else are we capable of protecting?